For me as an introvert, music allowed me to be much more social, but then also push me and give me a purpose.
Why do we remember lyrics forever?
We remember lyrics because they're very impactful and they relate to our existence, be it past or present. Like they connect to us in that way.
And why does sad music help?
Sad music allows us to let our feelings of sadness flow because in our society sometimes we're not given that space.
What advice you would give to someone that is not feeling well, going through a lot of things in life? What would be your advice to them in regards to music?
I think that in regards to music is our soundtrack, and to select songs that rather than sometimes select songs that accompany them on their journey. And in this is not like, oh yeah, just pick like very upbeat stuff, but that those songs allow them to relate to their mood and their feeling. And um, sometimes as hard as that is, like when people are feeling the weight of troubles and the difficulties of life, I think that songs allow you to let you to be able to express those feelings, that then you can see that past and present people struggle with something similar, and that that there's also the possibility of bouncing back, and or even reflecting on the loss, but that the fact that they're listening to that music, um, it's testament that they're still alive, and that they can like put one foot after the other to continue like they're living on.
Do you feel sometimes that music transforms you to a different person, a different time frame, and you enjoy that because you can become someone that you probably would not be in the present day?
Yes, music does help me and helps us become somebody different. For me as an introvert, music allowed me to be much more social, and give me a purpose. Because as a introvert person, yes, I wanted to be just a music fan, listen to the music, but then also push me to then wanting to do shows, wanting to put together shows. And so that allowed me to become a different person, not the introvert, nerdy person that was, always in, like reading books, but also put that into practice of like, what would it be like to put together a show the way I have read about, people doing shows in punk rock venues, or like the rock and roll impresarios of the 1970s in San Francisco. So even though I was this dorky, like nerdy introvert person, um, putting a show allowed me to be a different person. And so that I think music, that's kind of like being a protagonist, right? But music also allows you to feel, to embody, to create a character. And if you're listening to that song, you might be that character for those 3-4 minutes.
Music crosses borders faster than people. A song you don't speak, but you feel. Why does music help strangers connect?
So for me, that's one part that I have always been very fascinated, which is music does transcend borders, moves borders, and then a lot of times, music is able to go where people can, for one reason or the other, right? Like, but it's able to reach. So there are people that live in the U.S. that cannot travel back home, but the music can. Also, music on that, we get kind of philosophical. Music allows us to go back to the past, um, to uh, to be able to listen to a song and say, like it allows you to set yourself back at least for those 3-4 minutes to like an earlier time, at a place, right? And so that for me, it's the magic of music, right? To be able to transcend and to transcend time and space. Music allows you to go places too that you have never been and you didn't even know about them, but through music you're able to listen to Fela Kuti from Nigeria and be able to say it to at least be there, during the duration of the song. It creates a space, creates a feeling, it creates a place that you can visit. Without, like, and invites you to places that you didn't even know existed.